All right. Hi, everyone. This is Tiffany, also known as the Perfectly Wise. I am coming again with our July intuitive guidance session or reading. Um, so let's go into it. All right. So let's recap as I did in the June session there, recapping from May. I'm going to do a quick, recap here for June here leading into July. And just to clarify, this kind of came up, a couple of things came up here in my meditative session, which I'll go over. But, one thing that I want to clarify here, especially if you're new to, my channel, you're new to my readings there, which you can find all my readings and content, all that on my website, www.theperfectlywise.com. But to clarify, these sessions, even though I have them categorized, and this is for organizational purposes, this is to make sure there's kind of rhyme, reason, and structure on my content here. These sessions here are timeless. Energy and timelines here are very specific. They're very loose. They're very fluid. They resonate depending on who you are. They resonate and work through, these energies work through in a very, very specific way to you. So you might find, like, say, for example, if you go to my website, theperfectlywise.com, where maybe you're not even really so much resonating or drawn to so much right now, the July session, maybe you might find that, oh, I'm actually getting a lot of things here from the May session. That's fine. We all work through these energies. They're very in a very specific way, in a very personal way, and it's not fluid. You might find in a year from now, 2 years from now, where this session resonates. So just wanted to clarify that, especially in case there's any sort of feeling here that if you're looking at this reading here or this session here and it's like, I don't know, like maybe, but I don't know if I'm really quite there yet as far as this thing that you're discussing and onwards, perfectly fine. This is very, very, like I said, these are very general, and most importantly, these are helpful guidelines and parameters here for you to utilize and integrate or not within your own life. So wanted to clarify that off the top. But anyways, going into the recap here for June. So a big theme here that came up here for June was around this notion of the new normal. So there was a lot of discussion here that I mentioned there and that came out there in that session as far as returning back and acclimating to a new normal here, given kind of all that's been going on here kind of post-COVID. And you might have seen that. I mean, we have circumstances where you have states that have, launched and that are moving forward there with their reopening plans. Baseball and, Major League sports are reopening. You have people here now. You're seeing more people kind of out and about there. There's kind of a little bit more traffic about, people kind of more in open spaces. So I've even seen like folks doing some international travel. So, sorry, just gonna get some tea here. But yeah, so you definitely see here, especially in earnest in June here, there's kind of that kind of reintegration back into the space and doing, back together and back into common spaces there and really kind of negotiating how we move forward with new guidelines, with kind of these new frameworks in mind there. And there's a notion there in June that was mentioned there where there were new opportunities for study, for collaboration, for getting past resistance, because in a lot of ways here, you might perceive, and certainly came up there in the session, where this COVID situation has been our collective tower moment, as far as mass shifts, which has necessarily brought up mass awakenings, mass revelations, has kickstarted a lot of ascension processes and awakening processes for folks there. In many ways, their recent protests have also been part and folded into that space as well, especially as far as exposing structures. You notice this kind of constant theme here as far as exposing structures that don't work, right? And so the protests here, in light of the deaths of, among other folks, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, which rest in peace to those folks there. My thoughts and prayers and best intentions are with their families, especially at this time, and with our nation at this time. But yeah, so it's kind of was all kind of fold into those kind of tower moments, those destructive mass shifts there, and how it's really influenced there, us negotiating change moving forward and shifting moving forward. So that was June. Here are a couple of things here that came up here that I was perceiving here as it came up here in the meditative session. And the reading here that I'll do here will either confirm it or certainly maybe confirm it, provide extra information as per usual. But I was getting constantly, and I've been getting really, especially towards kind of the tail end here of June, which, to recap here, most recently we had the new moon in Cancer on Sunday, the 21st. I believe also that same day was also the lunar eclipse, which, I don't know about everybody else, but that that situation, that recent energy shift there really was quite massive. It really kind of like you might find there, especially given that recent new moon in Cancer situation there, where it's like a light bulb was like really, really turned on there. You're like re-energized. It's like, whew, okay, let's go. It also makes sense because that weekend, that was the same weekend also of the summer solstice. But I was getting this notion and this big theme here, kind of actually a lot of really beautiful things. The theme here that I was getting is around the summer of love. Which would make sense. I mean, we're having a lot of Cancerian energy here. We have like our sun sign. If it's not already, it will be soon in Cancer. Mercury is currently retrograding in Cancer here. It's a Cancer season. So like there's a lot of Cancerian energy there. And Cancer, really, that is the sign of family. That is the sign of the god of the mother. That is the sign of home. So if you feel a lot of like romantic, kind of sensitive, loving, good kind of vibes kind of coming there, influencing your movements, your communication and all of that. I was getting a lot of that energy, which was really, really quite sweet. Also, they drew me to two specific cards. I was getting the instruction to draw actually two specific cards from a different deck in providing some context here as far as this theme of the summer of love. So the two cards that they drew me, my guides here drew me to draw here in context was one, the Four of Wands, and two, the Three of Cups energy. In tarot speak there, I was getting a lot of that energy, a lot of Three of Cups and Four of Wands energy. And it was very interesting how they explained this. Kind of my guides broke this down for me for collective here. Was on the one side here, the divine masculine is represented in this energy here, in the Four of Wands energy. And in this space here, the Four of Wands is resonating here in this summer of love energy that I was getting here, was around this notion of finally, after a very, very long period here of contending with your divine masculine, healing your divine masculine, and then most recently there, integrating and finding a way there to really integrate and balance those energies of masculine, feminine within yourself. There's finally this notion here wherein the divine masculine is now stepping into a very protective role. Essentially, the divine masculine has your back, so to speak. And just to clarify again, the divine masculine and feminine, those are energies that are within all of us, regardless of gender and sexual expression there, gender and sexual expression there. But yeah, I was getting this strong theme here as far as the divine masculine. What I wrote down here was providing a fruitful, protective, and stable foundation. And that's in mind and body. It could be in physical homes there because there is a home energy also here. Homes and also environment. So it could be out in nature, shared spaces, whatever. But I was getting there where the Four of Wands in this divine masculine expression here is, again, serving as that fruitful, protective, and stable foundation by which you can create, collaborate, celebrate new births, and just generally enjoy and have a really, really good time. As it would resonate here in this Three of Cups energy. So in a lot of ways, this energy here was I was getting a lot of divine feminine principle and energy in this space here, which would also make sense because in this illustration, there are three, it can be taken a couple ways there. There are three women here, three maidens here that are in celebration here. It also is representative of that unity in mind, body, and spirits. But I was getting a lot of that energy there running through this summer here, or rather that opportunity. So, but I was getting a lot of that there. And then finally, as I was meditating, I got the cheetah. The cheetah came to me, that totem came to me. I got an image of the cheetah. Excuse me. I got an image of the cheetah. And a message that came through in that energy and in that totem there was this notion around, in all your healing, in all your balancing of energies and everything that you've gone through here, essentially right now here, you've earned your stripes. after a very, very, very long, could be contentious, it could have very well have been a hard period here in healing as you were descending there in the indie underworld. For a lot of light workers here, there's been a lot of themes that have been coming up here as far as this COVID situation really kind of putting us all into the underworld, so to speak, really forcing us to contend with darkness and really negotiate a lot of wisdom, a lot of healing, a lot of reconciliation in that space as we set intentions for the new. So, the cheetah just kind of drew out there and came up there. And as I was looking up and tapping into the cheetah, I was getting a lot of themes here from July and, from the end of June as we are right now through July and onwards here, these themes of like rapid movement, going after what you want with no hesitation. Like I was getting kind of like a quick shot, you're going with no hesitation, so to speak. And I feel like that's been a consistent theme, a consistent theme that's been coming up here. But yeah, going after what you want with no hesitation, integrating and stabilizing and your shadow side and expressing that in a healthy way. And then also staying flexible and adaptable. This would also make sense because this theme came up also in June here, in the June session, as far as how we contend with this shift. A key axis of success here is in the doing, the proactive doing, and also in being flexible and being able to adapt. So anyways, so yeah. Whew, long form there. That was kind of all that I was getting there again in coming into July here and onwards there. And again, obviously connecting and recapping from June. So we shall see here what the beings of light here have for us for July and onwards. I was drawn also, we'll see if I have time to do it, but they drew me to this particular deck. I don't usually pull oracle cards, but we'll see if I'll have time to do this. This is Lynn Araro's Botanical Inspirations deck here, which was giving me a lot of like divine, feminine, fruitful, nature-based, kind of natural, earth-based, planetary-based intelligence there. So we'll see. But in any case here, for this particular session, I'm going to be pulling from the Crystal Visions deck here. So let's see. Let's get another cup of tea here. Sip of tea. Yeah, I've been like recently addicted to Tazo has this vanilla chai. I think it's like vanilla caramel chai tea here, and I've been like so obsessed with that tea. I've been like drinking it, having like far too many cups per day. So that's on the side. Let me sip here. All right, let's do this. Okay, so let's cut the deck here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's interesting. I cut the deck twice, and the 2 times here, both the 3 of Wands came up there at the bottom of the deck. Here's the long-term vision that you can see here for all that you invest, for all your intentions that you're putting out and will stand to put out. Here is the long-form return on investment and manifestation, and also hopeful, bright, seeing there, long-form seeing, long-form planning, and also patience by which this comes in and by which this manifests for you. You are to take that. Okay, all right, okay, all right. So 3 of Wands. Yeah, that energy just came out there immediately on the front end here. Yeah, they're drawing me in particular in this illustration here. First of all, there's a big cat sitting next to her. I was just talking about like the cheetah. This isn't quite a cheetah, but it is a big cat. And I'm drawn to the big cat here sitting next to this lady, and also this orb of light that she's holding in her hands. And this energy is drawing me. I'm getting a lot of like, these are her dreams. These are her desires that she's holding quite preciously, like a precious gift, like precious cargo. And I'm seeing here where there's this ray, there's a ray of light and clarity here. Because you see here in this illustration here, this light is shooting out and illuminating kind of far ahead. Yeah. Yeah. I'm seeing a spark here. Yeah, just immediately with that card jumping out a second time at the bottom of the deck there. Yeah. As it resonates for the end of June and July and onwards there, a hope and a long form vision by which whatever you take action on, whichever dream or desire that you move forward on, you're willing to sit on that ledge. You're willing to be patient. One, to be steadfast and proactive, but also to be patient. Yeah, because I'm drawn to her sitting there on the ledge there, which is giving me a lot of patience. You're willing to be patient and see how this all manifests, how all those rewards manifest in due time. But the horizons here that you're looking at and acting towards here, it's broader horizons. It's a broader horizon. It's a brighter day. It's an expansion in self. It's an expansion in your circumstances. And that is what this time, among other things, what this time and this period has drawn us to. It's drawing us to think bigger, imagine bigger, create bigger. And in many, interesting, yeah. They're telling me here, we're in many ways here in what has been destroyed before. So this could have been most presciently in job, like, you know, it could have been in job loss. It could have been in lost opportunities. There's a notion here with this Three of Wands energy here, just immediately, I'm getting this immediately off the top here. There is better for you. Envision that and create that. There's bigger and better. There's more where that came from. You might find yourself as you start taking action, as you've already have, you're in progress. More than just the action of it, the believing in it. The believing in it. I'm invested in my dreams. I'm invested in myself. I'm invested in a version of myself and of my soul here that is expanded, that can that stands to do more, achieve much more than I may even have perceived from just a few months prior, from a year prior, from 2 weeks prior, whatever that timeline might be. And I'm willing to stick it out here. I'm sticking this out. Interesting. Interesting. So even with the good vibes, even with the opportunity, with the good vibes, the celebration, the love, all of that, that love is necessarily poured not only within spaces with others and having the good vibes and celebrating and all of that and having the stable foundation, it's also within self. Because I was mentioning before in this Four of Wands energy here, this foundation, this stable, fruitful, protective. I see. You're willing to stick this out. You're willing to see this through and stick this out. You feel emboldened in sticking this out because among other things here, you're very much protected. You have a stable foundation. Finally, I see. Finally, you have negotiated a stable foundation by which to create with. Amidst all that has transpired most recently and most previously from massive destruction and massive rapid change. Because from that rapid change and shift, you've also grown up, you've also expanded, you've also grown. Oh, Interesting. I see. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, a lot got. I haven't even like started shuffling cards yet, but okay. Okay. All right. Well, let's see what else comes up here. All right. Beautiful angels, ascended masters, creatures of the elemental realm, fairies, dragons, the water nymphs, the unicorns. Whoop, whoop. Page of Cups. Yeah, you're daring to dream. Yeah, Page of Cups. This is what this Page of Cups energy is giving me. Yeah, you're daring to dream. This is actually really sweet. Yeah. I'm getting like a rebirth of a dreamlike child, of a dreamy child, and also of a newly talented child, a child who's gained some new gifts. For light workers out there, people who do light workers out there, I'm getting there's kind of a couple of different strains of this in this Page of Cups energy. If you are in the community and you're a light worker here, you might have found in this time frame here where you've gotten like massive new like downloads of intuitive gifts, psychic gifts, like a third eye, like your third eye is really, really opening up here. Your consciousness there is really, really elevating to a new place. You might find that. Have found that's happened. I'm getting that in this Page of Cups energy. You might find your clairs have been kind of really turned up a notch here. You know, so your clairsentience, your clairaudience, your clairvoyance. Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting in this combination as it resonates there for light workers, just on the one opportunity there, where there's been kind of like in the Three of Wands and the Page of Cups energy, an expanded channel here. You've become an expanded and more expressive channel there from of spirit for the angels. I'm also getting for folks there who may not be light workers or maybe, do this as their work there, but even in that space there, I'm also getting for folks like that where finally you're kind of getting to trust. You're getting to trust yourself. Yeah. You're getting to trust yourself. You're getting to trust your dreams. Because I was getting here, we're like in the Three of Wands energy there. You're invested. You're sticking around. You're in this for the long haul. It came there from a newfound sense of trust. From purifying and cleansing away here any previous imprints of doubt, any even like programming. Yeah, because that's also what the shifts really the destruction, that's also part of what gets destroyed. It physically could have been, in a very tangible, like a job or, business opportunity or whatever. But it's also resonates there as far as programming. Thought forms and ideas and notions, deep internal notions that you had of yourself. I'm getting here where they were washed away, they were cleansed away, they were destroyed. And now you're kind of reemerging kind of as a new magical child. You believe in yourself again. You trust in you trust in what is inside of yourself and what resonates inside of self. And you're creating accordingly. And you're also receptive. Interesting. You're also newly receptive on a sensitive level here. Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting in this theme here. Yeah, interesting. Because from June, the energy was about receptivity. There's a lot of context there as far as receptivity and like business opportunity and like studies, like side gigs, side hustles, like collaborations, like that really third earth-based 3D kind of notion here. I'm getting there where that same sense of receptivity and open and expansiveness there is relating in the internal space, in your emotional life, in your intuitive life. Yeah. In that inner system there of guidance here, that is separate and independent of what others say and what others do. Interesting. Oh, I see. Interesting. Interesting. Led as always and channeled as always by my own intuition. That deep place of inner knowing and wisdom. Any messages of love, light, healing, and wisdom for our collective for July? Anything we should be keeping in mind or be aware of? Any other? Ooh. Oh, interesting. Yeah, because there was healing from past experiences, and there's a breaking away and an awakening and a transformation and a newfound clarity that came in the healing and the transcendence from past experiences. There it is. This is confirming it. Okay. So the energies that came up here, so Six of Cups, Judgment, yeah, and Queen of Swords. Yeah. This is all confirming that. Yeah. Judgment. That's been really the hallmark of this time. It's interesting. I think I mentioned this. This energy has been really, really coming up there, especially most recently in June there, in light of the passings of, or rather the murders, the factual murders of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, and how that has influenced our collective as far as inspiring massive shifts and awakenings and understandings here, and also ascension processes here. Yeah, this is a carryover here. I'm getting here where this has been the carryover in June, and will continue to resonate in July. And it is necessarily very important here and beneficial for our collective at this time because, among other things, I was mentioning before here the kind of transcendence of past places of programming. Where that resonates there is in this the Six of Cups energy there as it relates to past memories. So this could have been in past lives, it could have been in childhood experiences here, that within those experiences, those were the places by which those sets of programmings, those assumptions, those notions that really, really did not serve you well after some time. And that within divine order, there was a divine intelligence here that said, okay, we're going to break out of this. We're going to provide an impetus here by which you're broken out of these chains. Because there's also a liberation energy that comes here in this judgment energy. Yeah. There's liberation here in this space. There's a new dawn. There's a shedding of what no longer resonates, what's no longer for you, which would make sense because if you're looking to a broad horizon that is created even more and even more broadly and expansively than you may have even previously assumed in this Three of Wands energy, you have to break away from something first of all. And come to that understanding that, this is what this was all for. Yeah. That's what this judgment energy is giving. Yeah. So from the quote unquote collective tower moment of that mass destruction, which has resonated here again in the protests and the deaths of in the Black Lives, the reemergence of the Black Lives Matter movement, of the COVID situation. If those were the tower moments, the destructive moments here is the sense, here is the opportunity and the space of a reckoning and of the inspirations and the impetus for an ascension, for an awakening here, for us to look at things around us within our societies, within ourselves and go, wait, okay, we can have more here. We can do more here. We can envision and create more from this. We're better than this. Yeah, that's what this Queen of Swords energy is giving me. Yeah, that's what's coming through here, embodied in this Queen of Swords. And it would be very interesting because in this Queen of Swords energy, that's a divine feminine energy right there. That's a divine feminine. So it really is, it really is a divine feminine here who has in many ways there, especially as it's resonating there in intelligence, in knowing here, She has been leading us in this process. It is within that principle where we have been led here to this understanding that, oh no, we can do better. I deserve better. You know what? Perhaps that lost job, perhaps that lost opportunity, perhaps that breakup or breakdown in a relationship, perhaps it actually served best. Perhaps that happened for good reason. Perhaps that was supposed to happen. Yeah. 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 And I'm also getting in this combination of the Queen of Swords and the Three of Wands a new path that's been decided upon. Yeah. Yeah, that is your opportunity there as it runs from end of June, from June, July, and onwards there, where there's a decisive, if there hasn't already, there stands to be very soon, a very decisive decision here, an intelligent decision here, made as much in your intellect. Because in this energy here, there's air and water energy here. So there's both on the air side here, your intellect, your mental, kind of the putting together of the pieces of what makes sense. And there's also, because there's also balance in this energy. Yeah. Queen of Swords is Libra energy. So there's balance in this energy. So there's a balance point here, both in your intellect and what makes sense, what you can perceive and kind of look over and go, okay, this makes sense, as it also there in your inner knowing. Those are both integrated and balanced there. And a perceptiveness. There's a perceptiveness also that's there. And also there's a touch bit of a severity there because it's clear. Once a decision's been made, it's clear. There's no takesy backsies on this energy. I'm getting that in this space. And it would make sense because judgment, to grow to a place here in this judgment energy there where there is that ascension, that just complete shift and turn of self and resonance there, I'm getting in this combination like there's no going back, and it serves well because what's ahead of you here is a much broader, fruitful, and amazing horizon here. Interesting. Interesting. And in the Page of Cups energy, these are the downloads and the dropped in notions here that guide the way for you. That's much more, yeah, especially with all this Cancerian water, emotional kind of energy, kind of intuitive energy here, kind of really influencing us in this season, in the summer of love, so to speak, as would resonate there in the summer of love. Yeah, you're following your heart. It's what resonates in mind and heart. Those two resonances have a seat at the table. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, sorry. Had that upside down. Oh, interesting. Death at the bottom of the deck. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. For something to be awakened. Okay. Yeah. They're telling me take that. Okay. Yeah. For something. Yeah. For something. For you to essentially come into a reawakened space. For there to be an awakening, there had to be something here that died off. There had to be something here that you reconciled and there had to be a notion here that you maybe or maybe not recognize here that had to go. Something had to be cleared out. And something massive. Yeah. Like this energy, there's no, listen, this is all for the best. A death process here within yourself, within relationships, within opportunities. Yeah. Yeah. Job opportunities, relationships within yourself, all of that. You don't have to, love and light this away here. It can be quite tough. And it is tough. It can be quite tough. So you recognize that, and that's fine. But in letting that go with grace, with understanding here, is when then you ascend. Yeah. This is where you grow. This is where you start to answer to a higher calling. Yeah, and I'm drawn to the trumpet. Yeah, that energy of the trumpet blowing here that gives me that in this energy. Following a higher calling, and one that is necessarily less detached from imprints here that you may have very well sort of put so much value into. They all of a sudden they don't resonate so much as important, because just like that, they can be taken away. Notice that. I mean, even in our societal spaces, in our societal space. I mean, when you think about the fact that in this whole COVID situation, all of the accumulated job gains that we've had here that have been gained over the past 10 years was wiped out just like that. Like within the space of 2 weeks, like entire economies here went into a recession. So in that space there, you get to reconcile here and be clear, come into a new sense of clarity here in this Queen of Swords energy. Oh, these things are much more temporal and temporary. They're much more fleeting than I might have perceived. They can go just like that. And it could be for no rhyme and reason. I may as well have not had any understanding of or any preconceived notions of it happening. It just happened. But in that way here, especially as it resonates there in your growth and in that opportunity of growth that is here for us, again, in June and going on to July and onwards there, where you really get to expand and perceive into broader horizons there, because truly everything here is temporary. Those notions of attachment of this has to be my job, this has to, those sort of attachments of this has to be my job, this has to be where I live, this has to be what I do, this is all that is possible. Well, if it can be destroyed and taken away like that, perhaps you then become not as attached to it anymore. Perhaps you don't perceive it as important anymore, as essential anymore. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. And in that process, in that form of clarity here, in this Queen of Swords energy here, you're transformed. Yeah. Because in the Death card here, in this energy here, with this Scorpionic energy, it's also the underworld. Yeah. Because Scorpio here, the ruler of Scorpio is Pluto. And Pluto is all about the underworld. All about the underworld, all about the descent into the darkness, all about the mining of the shadow. And that's been essentially this up to now here, that's really been our summer. That's really been our spring, that's really been our time frame here, about the descent into darkness. Yeah. And don't take this energy so literally. Yes, it's a death card here, so, I'm not speaking here, and I certainly would not speak to and predict here physical deaths here. A lot of these release in deaths, that's beyond kind of the physical here. In opportunities, in relationships, in your internal self, like that kind of thing. Yeah. But there's transformation also there. Yeah. And interesting. Yeah. Just finally again here, in this combination of death and the judgment energy here, arising from the underworld, arising from darkness. We know now what to do. We know now where we're going, and where we're going is a broader horizon. Interesting. Any other messages of love, light, healing, and wisdom for our collective for July? Led as always and channeled as always by my own intuition. That deep place of inner knowing and wisdom. Any other messages? Any other messages of love, light? Are these all ours? Yes, okay. Yes, okay. And this will just about wrap us up here. Okay. Yeah, this will just about wrap us up. Okay, that's fine. Alrighty. So, I'm getting Queen of Wands. Interesting. She also has a big cat next to her. Yeah, a lot of big cat energy there. Yeah, so anyways. Yeah, I'm getting new brightness immediately here in this Queen of Wands energy. In this newly awakened, ascended place here, in this judgment energy, it's like you're like a bright beacon. I'm getting a magneticism in this energy. a sacral and sacred sexuality. The combination of the dart of the death and the Queen of Wands energy is giving me that. And it serves you not only in the expression of your physical self, but also in creation, because the divine feminine creates. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, anyways, Queen of Wands, King of Cups, King of Swords, and Nine of Cups. The divine feminine creates, the divine feminine creates, the divine masculine nurtures and protects in clarity and truth. And gives you the permission to show up in a fully clear, self-satisfied resonance and expression of self. I see. Yeah. I'm getting that. Yeah. I see. It's interesting also, Queen of Swords, there's a pair here in the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords, which is giving me, especially as it combines in this judgment energy, a lot of, I was getting consciousness. Yeah, there's an up level of consciousness here. There's an up level here of discernment. There's an up level here of just of knowing. I'm getting here in this newly awakened space. And it serves very well because in this Three of Wands energy, in your broad horizon ahead, that was more, so much more than what you originally had perceived. You need a clear direction. You need clarity. Because then that's when you move. You move decisively there because you're clear. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I'm getting that. Yeah. Oh, it's so interesting also. Yeah, they're drawing me also in the combination of the King of Cups and the Queen of Swords. It's very interesting because they're the same expression in energy but like inverted. And it's almost like the divine feminine and masculine within yourself are like exchanging and like drawing from the same energy, the same balanced energy. Yeah, because so in this energy here, in the Queen of Swords energy, this energy is essentially represents the water aspect of air, right? And then this energy here in the King of Cups is the air aspect of water. So in both of these spaces there, as it resonates there in your divine feminine and masculine, as it resonates there for the collective, as you've essentially peacefully and gracefully, yeah, gone through a death process, gone through kind of contending with the underworld here, going deep, deep, dark into that dark, to that deep, deep, dark, crawly space, deep, dark, crawly space there, and contending with past memories, past experiences there that brought about wounding, that brought about and engender a lot of programming here, a lot of limited programming here. Yeah. Among other things, what it does there, what it is served to do there is balance your energies there so they're working in harmony with each other and where they're exchanging equally with each other. And this interest, yeah, and this notion here of the divine masculine having your back. He protects you in clarity. He protects you in truth. Yeah, in cutting away what does not serve, being clear and decisive here, having your back on that, and lending you that understanding clearly as it's downloaded here in this Page of Cups energy, as it drops in this Page of Cups energy. But he also protects you and has your back here by reflecting your energy, being on that same, yeah, being on the same page as you. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. He's on the same page with you. He protects you. The divine feminine, the divine masculine. Again, this could be within you, but yeah, I'm getting where this could also resonate there because there's a certain like romantic. Yeah, I was getting a lot of romance there. And in the summer of love, like love resonates there on so many different levels and different spaces. So it could resonate there in a new romance or, something like that. So this could be with a, with a partner here who maybe is leveraging kind of more feminine energy or masculine energy or whatever, the sort may be, whatever that sort. But again, he has your back, not only in truth and clarity and keeping the mental fog, like clearing out the mental fog and confusion, and which is engendered, which stands to be engendered in programming and distraction. Yeah, in distraction. But he's also utilizing and in tune with your own energy, your own expression. So in the ways here in which you are sensitive and intuitive, so is he. The ways in which you have clarity, you know what I mean? There's a decision process here that you're making. You're cutting away no longer serves. He does also in this King of Swords energy. And in that way here, in this Nine of Cups energy, you're able to be kind of on that beautiful, kind of like on a beautiful island. Even in like, in this, even, it's so interesting, because even in this Three of Cups energy that I was mentioning before, as it resonates there in like good vibes with others, it's like the good vibes are like resonating there, not only like in communion with others, but like literally also by yourself, for yourself and by yourself. Interesting, especially first and foremost. Oh, interesting. This is also a wish fulfillment card here. Yeah, this is a wish card here. Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah, so I'm getting here as it combines here in this Three of Wands and this Nine of Cups energy. Whatever you wish and put out there in your intentions and goals in your broader horizon, here's a space here where trust and believe in clarity and understanding and knowing here, and also in proactive creation, then it can be done. It can be achieved. Believe in it. Dare, as the magical child, to wish upon a star. Yeah, I'm drawing here in this illustration here where she's like blowing, almost like setting a wish and then like blowing it out into the air. Yeah. Aww. Dare to dream. Dare to believe in your dreams. Dare to believe in the expanded and also necessarily balanced. Yeah, because oh, that is so interesting, like the jump overs of threes. So from expansion, just so much Jupiter destiny energy there. Yeah, I've been getting, especially recent there, a lot of like themes here of like luck and destiny and Jupiter, which Jupiter, among other things, is the is the planet of expansion, of luck, of like your destiny, like that kind of energy is really resonating there in Jupiter, in that energy in the three, which has been a constant theme that I've been getting. But interesting here from the Three of Wands to the Six of Cups to the Nine of Cups here. And also from this space here, from the Three of Cups to the Nine of Cups, which is six. That's the difference there. There's balance and harmony, which would resonate there because within your expressions of the divine feminine and masculine that I was previously discussing here, in that axis of six, there's balance and harmony here. There isn't contention. That's been done away with. That's been transformed. So what's left for you to do is to embrace your magnificence in this Queen of Wands energy. Know that you are worthy. There's a knowing now that you are worthy. There's a clarity here that you are worthy. You're awakened to that truth. Oh, wow. You're awakened to that truth of yourself in this judgment energy. You're awakened to that truth. as you are necessarily awakened to the not only that truth within yourself, but also even the good, bad, ugly truths here of this world. Wow. Here lies the happiness and the love that you have been searching for, that you've been dreaming about, that you never thought was possible. Here's where it is. And here's the stable, balanced foundation, as was jumping out previously in this Four of Wands energy, where that gets to happen, where you get to create that. Wow. And that's the beauty of these moments, isn't it? Even in the midst of the tower, when you're in the dark energy here, in that dark underworld, everything's falling apart, and and to be fair, you may not even be taking that with as much grace. Like, it's a hard time. Yeah. But that's the beauty of what comes on the other side of it. I'm getting in July and onwards here in the summer of love here, where that really opens up for you, for us, for this collective. Interesting. Wow. Okay, yeah. Well, I think that came out pretty straightforward here. So I'll just pull a card here from this deck here. Like I said, from this Botanical Inspirations deck here to just wrap this all up. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Okay. One, two. Oh, angels. Oh. Rebirth and new beginnings. Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. I didn't even have to shuffle. Yeah, this was interesting. There's a reason why this one. Okay, there's a reason why they wanted me to do this one. I see. Yeah. Oh, wow. So the card here is daffodil. The flower here is daffodil. And the tagline of this here is rebirth and new beginnings. There's a quote here that is mentioned from Lao Tzu. And the quote here is so interesting without this death card here, this death energy here. Because as much as this is a clearing away here, this is also a new bright day. There's also a new step here. So yeah, in this daffodil here, and it's interesting because you see I'm drawn to the colors here of this flower, where it's like yellow, there's the red there. So it's giving me a lot of like sunshine, new day, brightness, a new bright horizon in this Three of Wands energy. But yeah, so the tagline on this one, rebirth and new beginnings. New beginnings are often disguised as painful endings. Wow. Lao Tzu. Okay. All right, let me read out the full, because I like sometimes I like the kind of the information they provide about this particular about the particular flower here. So daffodil, narcissus. Interesting. Yeah. There can be a bit of a interesting. This dropped in here. So in this Knight of Cups energy there, especially as it resonates there in like self-satisfaction and like just happiness within self there, it can resonate a little bit on a narcissus level here, but I am getting here in this Queen of Wands energy as it combines there, like, okay with that. Be okay with like stepping into the truth and embodying the truth of your magnificence. Interesting. Interesting. Anyways, yeah, daffodil. Though in mythology, Narcissus is associated with self-love, in the Victorian language of flowers, the daffodil symbolizes high regard and chivalry. The sweeping drama of a sunny meadow filled with daffodils inspired Wordsworth's most famous poem. To many, the daffodil is associated with Easter, the resurrection, and the vernal equinox. Among the first cheerful flowers to announce the start of springtime after the long winter, the daffodil is a sign of rebirth and new beginnings. Judgment energy is also illustrated in resurrection. There's a resurrection energy here also in the judgment energy. Interesting. Yeah. And the inspirational message: now is the time to step into the light, shed your old ways, and begin a new phase of your life. Hold yourself in high regard, and others will too. Yeah. Perfect. Oh, perfection. Yeah, that just summed up everything here that was coming out here. Yeah. In the rebirth and the new phase, and also embracing your magnificence in this summer of love, in this summer of dreams. Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm getting that's pretty much it there. So I hope that ever helps everyone there. If you're looking to kind of get into more one-on-one here, as far as the session here, as it resonates more specifically for you and your specific circumstance there, I do one-on-one intuitive guidance sessions there. So check out my website, www.theperfectlywise.com. Again, www.theperfectlywise.com, and book a session there. So in any case, I hope this helps there. I love you all. Have a beautiful summer. Bye, everyone. Bye.